Hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing Men of War, issue number 2. Take a look at this comic cover right here. Now, I picked up issue number 1 of Men of War because I wanted to try something different with this relaunch. I want to expand my horizons and pick up titles that I normally wouldn't pick up. And I've been doing that. I've been picking up monster comics, suspense comics, horror comics, and war comics. And I have to say, Men of War issue number 1 was a great first issue. It introduced us to a new Sergeant Rock, and it also gave us a backup story too. There were actually 2 stories in issue number 1, as there is in issue number 2. It had great atmosphere. The dialogue was great and inviting to new readers or to people that don't understand the jargon or dialogue that's used by the armed forces. It also incorporated a little bit of the DC universe, which at first I was a little bit wary of, but now I'm actually starting to accept. It was a fun comic that had 2 good stories, and it enticed me enough to make me want to pick up issue number 2. The great thing about the Men of War series is that I don't have to pick up every single issue. I can pick up issue number 1 and 2, and then stop and pick up issue number 5, and then go to issue number 8, and then to 7, and then back to 3, and whatever. I don't have to pick it up all in succession because they're kind of individual one-shot stories. They may have 2 or 3 issue story arcs, and that's about it. So, the question is this. Will issue 2 be as good as issue number 1? Or was issue number 1 a fluke? Well, you're just going to have to wait and see. So, with that said, let's jump into issue number 2 of Men of War. As with issue number 1, issue number 2 has 2 stories in it, continuations of the stories that were presented in issue number 1. The first story is the Sergeant Rock story, and the second story is the Navy SEAL story. Now, the Sergeant Rock story picks up exactly where we left off. Kind of. It kind of goes back and forth between 2 periods in the story. It starts off where actually the ending of the story is, but then we quickly go to the beginning. Confused? Don't be. It's not really as confusing as I'm making it sound. Sergeant Rock is getting treated, his arm is getting treated, and he lost a lot of blood. They're in a pickle right now because they really can't go around too much because there's snipers outside, and in addition to that, they still need to find the senator. While looking for the senator, they come across a beautiful, enticing woman, which looks like that. Now, I actually thought that this woman was just for the cover, maybe she represents war or something, but no, she's actually a character in there. And what character is she? Well, this made me smile when I found out it's Sersi! If you people don't know Sersi, Sersi is a villain of Wonder Woman, and one of my favorites. And she is a representation of the character from Greek mythology with the same name, the sorceress Sersi. And with Wonder Woman not really showing much of her rogue gallery in this new relaunch, it was good to see that some of them still survived through. And there you go, Sersi's in this. Sersi plays a different role in this other than a villain. She kind of acts as a force of nature, an element of nature, telling Sergeant Rock that, you know, him and his troops are on forbidden land. They are not allowed here, and while she will allow them to go this time, she may not be so nice next time. So, the question is this. Will Sergeant Rock be able to get the senator out in time? Will he be able to do what Sersi says and get out of this country and not get her upset? Or will the full fury and wrath of Sersi come down and destroy Sergeant Rock? You're just going to have to read and see. The second issue, the backup issue, which is the Navy SEAL issue, continues where that left off too, in that the armed forces are in a predicament. They can't call a helicopter to get their wounded friend out because if they did, the helicopter will get shot down by rocket launchers. So they need to find the people that have the rocket launchers. Take those people out. However, a certain twist happens that really screws up their plans. So will these Navy SEALs get out in time? Or will a mistake be made by one of them that will cost them all? Again, you're just going to have to read and see. Let's get into the good, the bad, and whether or not you should get it. Good. The Sergeant Rock story was a lot better this go around than beforehand. We get a lot more about Sergeant Rock. We kind of flip through his life. We know that his father left his mother. We learn that he was married for a year, but his wife then passed away. And we learn that going back to the army was a huge decision for him, based on his him being a widow and also his mother and the condition that she's in. Cersei plays off as a great foil here, and I like the fact that she's kind of a force of nature, other than just a villain. I mean, Cersei has always been one of my favorite villains of all time. If you haven't really read Wonder Woman, then you may have not had the chance to experience Cersei in all of her magnificence, but she really comes off as a great character in both her previous writings and also in this. And the redesign for the character really looks good. I like the contrast of the white and the red together as the only two primary colors that she has. And the art that's used in this, not only for Sergeant Rock but also for Cersei, really displays a good range of facial features. And lastly, Sergeant Rock is just a badass in this. He has his arm severely injured, lost a lot of blood, and he's still kicking ass and taking names. There's one thing to say that you're a badass, but to actually show that you're a badass, completely different story. The second story was a little bit better than it was beforehand in issue 1 also. Although we don't really know these characters that well, the suspense and the nature of the situation is a little bit more tense and a little bit better. I don't know what to say other than that, and then just you're really committed to this story to see how it comes out. Whether bad. Not really. Not really at all. Actually, I didn't think of any bad in this. Whether or not you should get it. I'm sorry to see why they put two stories in this. Sergeant Rock's story is supposed to be more integrated in the DC universe, while the Navy SEAL backup is supposed to be realistic. No superhuman, no superhero, no supernatural elements in it. Very realistic. Well, Sergeant Rock's story can incorporate Superman once in a while or Cersei once in a while and have it be fine. This is a solid series. It is good. It was entertaining. It may take some time to get used to, but like I said, it is a solid series. Sergeant Rock is a likable character in this. Cersei played off him very nicely, and the story worked out very well. If you were hesitant of the Man of War series, don't be. It's good. It's not necessarily my favorite genre, but this comic has been written so well that it doesn't matter. It just comes off really nice. So definitely a recommendation. By the way, this is probably one of the best cover arts in all of the 52 so far. Really beautiful cover art. But like I said, if you're hesitant of Men of War, don't be. It's a good series. Solid, good series. Pick it up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.